Okay, so this is part 3 of the CVs, resume, and cover letters presentation. So here's that top slide again. And when we left off, we were talking about writing the resume itself, and we were talking about skills. So let me go back over here. We had just talked about the difference between hard skills, which are skills that are teachable or quantifiable, and soft skills, which are more like people skills, are learned with experience and are not teachable. And we had talked about some examples of hard skills and soft skills. So an example of a hard skill might be proficiency in a foreign language or a computer programming language, a degree or a certificate, something like that. Soft skills are things like communication, flexibility, leadership, teamwork, and time management. That aren't given by a specific entity and have to be proven in other ways. So for the skills section, you want to customize it to the job. You want to look at the job description, company mission statements, values, anything like that to choose the most important skills that would be attractive to your future employer. You want to include skills that will benefit you in the job, such as foreign languages, or tech skills or people skills. And again, you want to balance those hard and those soft skills. So I wanted to include a few examples of some of the skills that employers are looking for from different places on the web. So you can see here that communication is a big one. College degree is a big one, not as big as communication. Many employers are looking for effective communicators who can convey information and be very polite and cordial and are unlikely to have problems with coworkers or with customers or to reflect badly on the company. They also like time management for obvious reasons. Teamwork is also important, and I'm really surprised this is this low. But individual motivation or being self-motivated is a top skill, but it's not as important as these others. So here's from the Future of Jobs report from the World Economic Forum, the top 10 skills that employers were looking for in 2015 and 2020. And I want you to see how these have changed. So in 2015, we were looking for complex problem solving, coordinating with others, people management, critical thinking, negotiation, quality control, service orientation, judgment, decision making, active listening, and creativity. Complex problem solving is still number one. Critical thinking has moved up from 4 to 2. Creativity has moved up from 10 to 3. People management has become just a little bit less important. Coordinating with others has become just a little bit less important. Emotional intelligence has become much more important. It wasn't even on the list before, and now it's number 6. Judgment and decision making has become more important. Service orientation is about the same. Negotiation has become less important, and cognitive flexibility, the ability to think creatively, it wasn't even on this list, but it is definitely important now. So you can see that the idea of being able to solve problems creatively has become much more important. The ability to work well with others and to manage other people is also very important, and the ability to make sound decisions effectively is still very important. So here another one. This is from Raising the Bar, October, November of 2009. So this is a little bit older, but it's still a lot of the same things. This is what employers at that time wanted, 10 years ago, wanted students to get out of college and to prepare them for the workforce. And so there, again, effective oral and written communication was very important. Critical thinking and analytical reasoning, knowledge and skills that could be applied to real-world settings, being able to solve complex problems, being ethical, teamwork, innovation and creativity, and then some concepts and developments in scientific technology. Well, we tend to think of this as something that's really important. Everyone wants STEM, but it's actually on the bottom, or it was 10 years ago, and I think it's actually gone down even further. And then here's one more, the most in-demand soft skills, and I think this is current as of this year. Communication is most important. Organization, teamwork, punctuality, critical thinking, social skills, creativity, interpersonal communication, adaptability, and a friendly personality. So all of these skills are things that you might think of including when you're making your resume this next week. There are also things that you will want to include in your real resume if this is not your real resume. in the future because they are what employers are looking for. And as you can see in the one from 2009 to 2020, some of them haven't really changed that much, and so they're not likely to change significantly in the next 5 to 10 years. Again, more soft skills that employers look for that you can include are self-awareness, resilience, innovation, business insight, trust, being able to drive results, plan and align, someone who's action-oriented, someone who's accountable, adaptable, effective communicators, builds networks, manages any ambiguity between coworkers, focused on the customer, persuasive, savvy within the organizational structure, drives the company's vision and purpose, optimizes work process, understands how teams work, and maybe Microsoft Teams, I'm a little unclear on that one, manages conflicts, values differences in opinion, is savvy with interpersonal connections, collaboration, manages complexity, and is interested in self-development. So these are all things you might include as you're creating your resume. So here are some general resume writing tips. So you want to be specific whenever possible. Remember, with the impact-driven statements, you want to make sure you include numbers, how many people you helped, how many things you did over what time frame, and you also want to make sure you focus on the impact you had. It's important to customize these for the job of the company as much as is possible. Focus on the details because that's going to show you off more than more general stuff. And try to integrate keywords from the job description wherever possible, because for a lot of companies, the first step now isn't having a recruiter look over 100 resumes. It's having a computer scan the resumes for keywords. So you do want to include some keywords, not too many of them, but you want to get the attention of that computer program. So writing a CV is actually pretty similar to writing a resume, although there are some differences. CVs have a standard order, which is different than resumes, which you have some flexibility with the order. The header always comes first, then your personal profile, which is your objective or your summary. Objectives are still allowed, professional summaries, and you can use something very similar as your resume there. Then you do your work experience, education, skills, and any additional sections as needed. I borrowed this from Zeddy.com because it was a really good reference. And so these links above, they are functional. You can click on them to get more information about that if you'd like. So above the fold, again, it's very similar to a resume. You have your contact information, you have your summary. That stuff pretty much stays the same. The work experience is very similar to a resume, except that you include all of it. You want everything you ever did from high school on. Because you have as much space as you need here. You're trying to give a picture of you as an individual over your entire career. Education, you want to include additional information on a resume, such as your dissertation or your thesis title if you did that, your favorite subjects or fields of study, any relevant coursework that you did, your best achievements, extracurricular activities, and any publications or awards that you got. And just include what you need of those. And again, these links are functional. For your skills section, that works the same as the resume. We talked about that a lot above. And some additional sections which you can use as applicable are things like industry awards, professional certifications, publications, professional affiliations, conferences and symposiums, any additional training or certifications that you've gotten, volunteer experience, hobbies and interests, projects, freelance work, academic achievements, or a personal blog. And which one of those you include will depend on your place in your career. So cover letters, I think we've got time. Okay, so let's stop here, and then I'll do cover letters in the next one.